course, is the fact that we are in stage 6 load shedding indefinitely now, says Eskom. And if you haven't done it already, you are very likely considering it. Some form of alternative power for your home, whether it's all the bells and whistles, solar panels, a UPS system, battery storage, a rental option perhaps, or simply a power bank or two to give you a bit of light during the load shedding. There is a lot on offer. I'm joined now by consumer journalist Wendy Knowler. Hello, Wendy. Always great to chat to you. So there are so many options, and you can invest anywhere from sort of $5,000 for a power bank up to like 200,000 to completely kit out your home. So there are tons of options, but you are already getting complaints. I wonder if you could tell me a little bit more about the types of complaints you're getting.
Okay. Hi, Sally. So some of them, a lot of them are around people who've bought an inverter, a generator from an online company that they've never dealt with before. They went searching furiously when the power came back and they were able to use their laptops or whatever. They went searching and found these companies. A lot of people get caught by basing their purchasing decisions solely on price. We're all strapped for cash now, but, you know, we can't really cope with so many blackouts either. And a number of things happen. Somebody, for example, just this week told me that the a generator that she had ordered arrived, but it had international settings, plug points. And when she complained, she was told that, they could send her some adapters, and they've since adapted their, amended their advertising to state with adapters, she said, no, I want one that's for the South African market. And then they said, okay, well, we'll charge you this fee to send it back. So what everybody should know, if you're buying online, first of all, do go for a trusted retailer and know that you have the benefit when you buy anything online of a 7-day cooling off period, during which you can send a product back, admittedly at your cost, but you must get a full refund within 30 days. So we're going to charge you this handling fee, or we don't refund, is not on. And if you're going to buy online, check the policies, the returns policies, to make sure that you do have the benefit of that cooling off period. Somebody else invested in a solar system, was told by the installer, and it was a face-to-face thing, obviously, that I'll give you a huge discount on these panels. They're a bit cracked, but it's just a superficial thing. 6 panels or 8 panels, they didn't work at all, and now he's battling to get a refund. There are so many things that are going wrong, Sally, as will always happen when a product or service is in high demand. You're going to get the out-and-out scammers, and you're going to get the sort of slightly rogue operators who don't play by the rules.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the thing. I was going to ask you, how much is there actual scamming going on, and how much is just a sign of companies who are overwhelmed with demand, trying desperately to get stock in, and it's constantly running out, I would imagine. And then they're just sort of flinging anything at the market. I mean, is there a definite sort of scam element creeping in, or is it more overwhelmed retailers?
A bit of both. There will be, whenever a product is in high demand, you're going to get the out-and-out scams of people lurking online, waiting for the person to just do the search, reasonable inverter or whatever, solar panels, best price kind of thing, and these products don't actually exist. Then you're going to get those, as I said, who will supply, but they're slightly not quite the suitable product, and then won't abide by the return rules of online purchasing. And then you get the reputable suppliers who, and I'm getting many complaints about this, who are advertising inverters and the like. And when a person responds, pays upfront, as you do, a day or two later, the money's refunded, order cancelled. Either in the case I've just got yesterday, the price was a mistake and retailers have an out. If it's an obvious mistake, they don't have to honor the deal. So somebody paid 6,000 Rand and the retailer, a national company, said, well, it's actually 13,000. That was a mistake and we don't have to honor it. Or it's happening more and more. Somebody bags an item and then is told 2 days later, sorry, out of stock. It's happening more and people are complaining about this. The retailers will say, well, there's this such a hot item. There's a few seconds between putting it in the basket and the payment being finalized, and someone else bagged it in the interim. And it's very hard to prove what really happened as an, a independent third party. But those complaints are escalating, and I think will for some time, because demand,
it's massive,
certainly on a day like this.
Exactly, and even a well-meaning retailer, a well-meaning company might not get back to you simply because they're just absolutely stretched. Wendy, I want you to talk us through very briefly, because I've got two final questions for you. Talk to me about the rental system. Now, that sounds on the surface like a brilliant one if you're not tech savvy. The rental system, you pay a standard fee every month. They will come and install, they will maintain. I have heard some concern about, you've got to look at the insurance issues around that. Who pays? You have to insure it yourself through your household insurance, little things like that. But if you're looking at a rental system, what are the potential pitfalls, if any?
I would say the same pitfalls that apply to any fixed-term contract. Is to read the small print very carefully. Many consumers are completely allergic to that process, but trust me, it's a lot more hassle trying to get justice if you get caught by one of those terms. So spend the time, invest the time reading them. I think look particularly at the cancellation, the number of months that you're locked in for, and the cancellation policies. So you don't want to be saddled with something terribly onerous. So, for example, if you sign up for 2 years, say, or 3 years, and you want to cancel after 3 months for whatever reason, you could find that you are sitting with, as you would if you would try to cancel a cell phone contract or a gym contract many, many months before the period is up, you'll be saddled with a very hefty cancellation period. So those are the things that I would say to look out for. You're going to get the good operators, and you're going to get those who are in it to make a quick buck and exploit the consumer. So make no assumptions, read, and then check out the company, look for reviews, get some word of mouth recommendations. We're all on these community WhatsApp groups, so use them to your benefit. Find people who have already contracted with a particular company to rent equipment and find out how their experience has been.
Yeah, so what I'm hearing from you is we've got to do a bit of research, commit to a bit of research. Be careful of online deals, especially from foreign retailers that you might not know well. But what are the main red flags? Just in closing, what would you say are the big takeaways for people to bear in mind, whether they're looking at buying a little inverter or going the whole hog?
To sum up, well, I think the solar installations have a whole lot more sort of checks to be done by the consumer in terms of asking, do they employ subcontractors, details of previous installations, are they registered? There's too much detail to go in here, Sal, but you can Google it. I've written about it. There's a lot of questions you must ask to not have somebody come into your home to do a very expensive solar installation without doing those checks. I saw earlier ABSA offering loans for these very expensive, as you say, 170, 200,000 rand installations, and they have a very useful guide on what questions to ask. And then in terms of buying online, check out the returns policies, check out the reviews of the companies. Be very careful for back order and small print. I've had cases of that where somebody hasn't seen this very small print back order, so they pay their money for this in-demand item, an inverter, say, and then months go by and they don't get the product, and the retailer says, but we told you it was on back order. Do not do that. But in terms of the CPA, you're entitled to a refund if the delivery period is not met. But now they're saying, well, there is no delivery period. We're not specifying. Avoid, avoid, avoid.
Lovely tips. Thank you so much. I'm sure we're going to have you on again, Wendy, because there's a lot to unpack around not getting scammed and getting it right for your energy needs.